Welcome to A Minorities Report. This is episode 9, and this evening, I am with Gilbert Dayao. Man, thank you for doing this, bro.
Well, thank you for having me, man. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
But
Man.
Been in this area for quite a while.
For quite a while, yeah. Gilbert was in, he had an auto body shop for 30 years here in town, in Carson City.
Yeah.
And he has some great stories to share, and hopefully it inspires you, whoever is trying to start their own business or contemplating or maybe going through certain struggles. I'm pretty sure because Gilbert is, bro, you were pretty successful, one of the success stories here in town. And that's why when I started, like I was telling you earlier, when I started this podcast, you were one of the people that I had in mind to really want to interview. So I'm really, really grateful that you're doing this.
Yeah.
So, but do share when you moved here, when you guys immigrated here from the Philippines, and then because you started out in San Francisco. Just give us a backstory of Gilbert Dayao before.
Yeah. So I migrated here in very early '80s. It's been a long time. I was like maybe 11 or 12 years old. Landed in San Francisco. So went to school there for a little bit, and that was a big culture shock for me. It was, from Manila to San Francisco. Everything was big. Everything is like wow, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that life's gonna be this big fabulous life that everybody's aiming for, right? If you're back in the Philippines, hey, that's the United States of America.
Yeah. You're gonna make money. You're gonna be rich.
Everybody's gonna be rich and making money and all that. But when you're young like that, you that's really not in your mind. I'm just got to San Francisco and do the daily thing, go to school.
Who petitioned you guys, Gilbert?
My grandparents.
Oh, grandparents. Nice. That's good.
Yeah. So, my mom and dad, they separated. So, I was living with my grandparents, and living with my mom in the Philippines, and then my grandparents, totally different. They have a different way of, they have different, let's say, what do you call it? To upbringing, I would say, right?
Yeah.
My mom is Filipino and my dad is Chinese.
Oh,
but
okay.
He was also born in the Philippines, but two different culture.
Yeah.
So, it's a little bit hard for me to to adapt to it, in a very young age.
San Francisco.
Yeah, and also living with my grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So,
What was the challenge?
well, they're very strict. Different values. Very hard worker. Maybe I got that from them.
Yeah, you did. You probably did. Yeah.
And you just can't stop working.
Yeah.
And my grandma's also a very good cook. Maybe I got that from her. So.
Oh, really?
That's my thing.
Wow.
Bars, cooking.
That's good.
That's my thing. So it was great. Growing up in looking back, growing up in the Bay Area, in the city, I've learned a lot. On a short period of time, because I had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
Right.
It was pretty rough there, right?
Right.
The 80s.
In the 80s, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of gangs, that's the height of that.
Were they not pretty accepting of you being like a foreigner?
No. So the good thing about the Bay Area is I went to school. I went to Mission High. Mission High is, you know, pretty much minorities. So you have your
okay.
Asians, Hispanics, blacks. So
Oh.
majority is, you know, you hardly
Minorities.
see white
Oh, wow.
crowds.
You guys basically dominated that area.
Right. So, you know, and somewhat, you know, you're kind of accepted, right? Because there's a lot of Filipinos in that school. So you know, that's why I kept the language, you know, because you're speaking, you know, Tagalog,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. That's good.
So it was actually good. It's memorable for sure, you know. Of course, you know, at that young age, you're susceptible to, you know, some bad things, you know,
Yeah.
growing up, you know, as a teenager, rebellious.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
But you know, I started working when I was 14
14.
years old.
What did you do? What was your
So
first job?
it was funny because you know I told the back in the days they don't really really enforce the 16-year-old. You know, I went to McDonald's and said, hey, I want to work. The manager's like, you're too young. No, I want to work.
Really? At 14, you wanted
Yeah.
to work?
Yeah. So I went to went to work for McDonald's. That was my first job in Mission Street,
Oh,
McDonald's.
wow.
16th Street, McDonald's, I believe.
So my grandpa used to hang out at Powell, the McDonald's by
Right.
Powell,
Yeah, that's in downtown.
downtown.
Yeah.
So because of Mission.
So Mission District goes a long ways all the way to Daly City. So
Oh, yeah.
so
Wow.
yeah, the McDonald's I think on 16th Street. Yeah.
So how was that? How was that for you?
That was hey, I'm working at McDonald's, I'm making money, I can buy my, my clothes, get some Reeboks, right? Some Jordans, at that time.
Reeboks.
Right?
Reeboks was in. Correct.
$20 Reebok,
Oh, dude, that's expensive.
That's
That's the 80s.
expensive. Oh yeah. You have to earn your money to pay for it. But yeah.
So you've learned hard work, as you say, maybe from your grandparents and from your dad somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And then tell us how you move. What the reason why you moved to Carson City?
Yeah. So
what happened?
at the age of right after high school, I believe because I was ahead a little bit. I believe I was like ahead 1 or 2 years.
So you were going to school and then you still finished. Oh, we going to work and going to school and you
Yeah.
still finished early.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I didn't really think that I'm not the smartest guy. I hated school.
So you wanted to get out right away.
Oh yeah. I just want to go to work and make some money. But I got into some trouble. I didn't know what to do. So my dad's like, hey, I'm going to Carson City. I have a job over there. Do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know. What's Carson City? Right?
Oh.
So, it's in Reno. Oh, Reno. Okay, well, never
What?
been to Reno.
What year was this again?
This is probably 87, 88, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
87,
Way back.
88.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, check it out. Man, that was a culture shock. Like, what's in Carson City? Dirt, some cowboy town,
Yeah.
It's really nothing.
Correct.
We had a small Sears and a Kmart.
Moving from the city
From the city
to Carson City.
I think the population in Carson City was a little bit over 5,000.
Oh wow.
at
So
time.
that
I
is
don't
a
know.
culture shock.
Oh
for you.
yeah, it was like, man, I don't know if I could live here. So 2 weeks later, I went back to the city. Told my friend, hey, dude, I'm coming back. All right.
So you moved here with your dad,
Yeah.
and then Sonny was here, right? Your friend
Yeah.
Sonny.
So I met Sonny. He's my brother-in-law. I met him in San Francisco. They were just visiting, and then decided to, got the job in Carson City.
Yeah.
So my parents, my grandparents know his parents from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
So
Because Sonny's also half Chinese.
he's full Chinese.
He's full Chinese.
Yeah,
Sonny.
he's full Chinese.
And you're half.
I'm half. Yeah.
Okay.
So he said, yeah, I'll take the job over there. It's it's called China Kitchen in Carson City.
Is it still there? Do you know?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wow.
But I think he owned all the Chinese restaurant in Carson City. So yeah, so Sonny was over here in Carson, and I went to check it out. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, I can't hang here. This is way too boring. This is
Yes.
definite culture shock.
I want them to check the camera. Is it good? Okay.
Yeah. So he said, "Yeah, come on down, man. Come on up here and check it out." I said, "Okay." Like, man, 2 weeks later, I'm back in the city. But my dad is working, in Carson City as a mechanic. So I'm like, I can't do it.
So your dad was a mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's
okay.
why I got the automotive.
The
blood,
genes.
right,
Yeah.
genes,
Yeah.
right.
There you go. There you go.
He stayed. I'm like, I'm going back. So again, I was very young. I was only 17.
17.
At the time.
And you graduated high school already,
Yeah.
and then okay.
Yeah.
So you moved back to San Francisco, and then what happened?
And then 2 weeks later, I was sitting down. And this is like a calling, right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm not very religious person.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the higher power.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, I was sitting down, I was like, now what? Now what?
Huh.
Get a job, get in trouble, go back to hanging out with my
Your-
friends,
Your crew there.
Yeah. So, it's fun, because we were doing some DJing,
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Were you? Oh, dude.
back in the 80s when DJ was starting out big, right?
You're catching me in a surprise look because I met this guy who was already pretty established and successful.
Yeah, everybody knows me that, I have this, big shop in Carson City. But,
Yeah.
that was a few years later. So,
Wow.
A lot of people think that, I was made of money, right? Build a shop, right?
Correct. Nobody knows the
Came from my
background.
dad, my family, whatever, right? And it's hard to believe that, somebody can do that on their own from
Yeah.
scratch, right?
Yeah.
And really, truly, we did it from scratch.
Because you're not just a person who had a business for 30 years. You were
No.
pretty successful. Anybody that is from Reno, Sparks, Carson, they know Gilsons Autobody.
Yeah, it's it's flattering, but it's. I guess my focus at that time went on a different way, right?
Yeah.
So I was just a kid,
Yeah.
right?
At 17, you're contemplating.
17. So, going back to being 17, I went back to Carson City and said, hey, what's sitting down, in San Francisco in an apartment, living with my friend, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do now? Go back to hanging out,
17.
do this. Like, no. So I called Sonny. I said, hey,
Coming back.
I want to go back to Carson. So I started delivering Chinese food in Carson City.
Because you knew somehow in San Francisco, if you stay there, it'll just be the same old thing.
So, I knew that it's going to be more, I would move towards, because bad things, doing bad things, and because it's fun for a kid, right?
Yeah.
For a teenager. So we're gravitated to that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's very hard to resist all the temptations of being a kid and a rebellious kid.
Yeah.
For that matter, right? So
It's easier to be bad.
it's fun to be bad.
It's fun to be bad.
Right?
Yes. It's
I
true.
can go out, stay out all night, drink, do whatever, right? Party all night. But I said, then what?
At 17.
And I said, then what? So I said, I got to do something else. So I said, I'll take that job, delivering Chinese food, right? So I delivered Chinese food in Carson City.
So when you were in the city before you went back there to Carson, what were you doing in San Francisco? Nothing for that
Nothing.
first 2 weeks? Oh, you were just partying.
Yeah, well, I think I was like, at that time, it's like everything is, all of this stuff is going through my mind, What am I going to do? What is it for me here?
God,
Right?
at 17, man, you were pretty intuitive, huh? You were already asking the hard question.
Yeah, again, I've learned life the hard way, right? No support from the family, right? Gotta go work. I gotta cook, or else I'm not gonna eat.
That's how they raised you. You cook your own meal.
It was me and my brother. So my brother is like, he can hardly cook boiled eggs.
That sounds like me.
It was funny, and I'm like, man. So I'm the one's doing all the cooking. So hey, we got to survive.
So you were pretty much on your own already at 17. Sounds
yeah.
like 16, 17.
14.
14, bro.
Yeah, I was on my own.
Oh, so you left
So I
your...
left the house at 14.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were still going to school.
Yeah.
So you had rent.
Yeah, we were splitting rent with a bunch of friends, bouncing from apartment to apartments, and my skill is cooking. I was like, they're like, dude, come on, man.
Gilbert's cooking.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Wow.
So, yeah.
Dude, I didn't know that about
Yeah.
you. At early age, you left home
Yeah. It was
pretty independent.
pretty rough, I mean, it wasn't easy, per se.
Yeah. No, I could.
But, I was, here's something, because, I gotta tell you the story, because when I was living with my grandparents, right,
Yeah.
in this apartment in San Francisco,
Yeah.
Mission District, so they're pretty hardcore, I mean, so my grandma's like, so I was in the bathroom taking a shower, and the lever for the shower broke. So it was shooting out water right on the spigot, right? I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I was 14, right? Don't know what to do, but
Yeah.
the water's just shooting. So I'm like, oh no. And then my grandma saw it, like, what did you do? Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh my God, So my thinking at that time is how to shut off that water, right?
Oh.
So, in the apartment, where is it? Hell, I don't know, I'm like, so I'm running around back and forth trying to figure it out. So I said, maybe it's in the basement. I gotta find the main, shut-off valve.
Yeah.
So went downstairs into the basement, and I found the shut-off valve. So I shut the water off.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know I got cut somehow, and I was bleeding, and as a rebellious teenager, that's when I left home, and I told my grandparents. I said, you know what? Because they're, in the Philippines, they're well off, and I said, you know what? I'll be rich.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'll make it.
Wow.
I think maybe I used that growing up and going
As
through
your
life.
drive.
That's my drive,
To prove to them.
to prove to them that, I'll make it.
And you did.
Well,
Many years later. Yeah.
For a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's your satisfaction as a person, right? What is it?
Well, yeah.
Right?
What do you call success, right? It depends, right? To each his own, somehow, right? When it comes to that.
Going back, before we had the shop, so that was a thing, and then I moved back to Carson City, right?
Yes.
So, like I told you about the story, I was working at the Chinese restaurant delivering Chinese food, and then I met this, guy that has a body shop in town,
Yeah.
and they were doing like, high-end cars, restoration, stuff like that. Really, really good high-end shop. So I was bussing the table. I see him almost every day, because
He loves Chinese.
yeah, he eats there almost every day. So I said, hey, do you have a job for me? I want to learn
Mm-hmm.
bodywork or paint, mechanical. I didn't care. I just like cars.
Love cars, yeah.
Love cars.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Cars. So he's like, yeah, we're looking for a helper. Like, can I come see you over there? On my day off. So I went there. I'm like, man, can you give me a job? I'll clean the shop, blah blah blah. And that's my thing too. I'm OCD. I just I clean the shop. It's like it's spotless.
Your shop every time you go, it's like a showroom.
Yeah, it's spotless.
Yeah,
right?
dude, yeah.
So he hired me, right? So I learned body and paint within a little over a year period of time.
And you weren't getting paid, right? You were just helping out.
$5 an hour.
That's nothing.
Yeah, $5 an hour. And I was painting cars, and then he said, I'll give you a raise. I was getting paid $8 an hour. So yeah.
You were pretty much underpaid, right? Because that was like maybe about 15 siguro yan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
Yeah, around that time. Okay.
Around that time, 12, $15 an hour. But I just wanted to learn. I said, I'm going to learn this thing. And I'm like having so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
That you were underpaid. You didn't care.
Didn't care. I was there night and day learning, doing.
You were excited.
I was just excited to learn things, and this is it. Because you get tips.
You get tips there?
No, from the restaurant. Delivering Chinese food. But that's not for me. you know.
It wasn't for you.
No.
It wasn't for you.
No, I told Sonny, this is not for me. I gotta do something else.
So at the shop, you started as cleaning the shop, and then you started sanding. You said
Yep.
right, and then he got you on the painting.
Yep.
That's the last. Are those the steps?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you're a shop cleaner, you're a helper, you know, doing a little bit of sanding. I mean, the grunt work, right? So, learned all that, and then one day, the painter said, "Hey, I think you're ready to paint.
Yeah.
Would you like to paint?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to paint." So that was the first paint job for me. It was a 560 SEL Mercedes.
Oh yeah.
So
What year was this, Gilbert?
this is 1989,
Wow.
I believe.
Okay.
1989.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your first paint job was a Benz.
Yep. Turned out great, man. You know, so I was so happy, so proud. You know, it was my first paint job, and then I progressed from there. So a year later, my boss asked me, "Hey, what's your plan in the future?" I said, "Man, I want to be like you, own my own shop."
Yeah.
Man, he didn't like that. He fired me on the spot.
How old were you?
I just turned 18.
18. Oh.
Yeah.
And he fired you because you shared with him your dream.
Right. You know, and I'm like, I was so shocked. I was actually literally crying. Went home, bummed out.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just shared your dream.
I'm dreaming, right?
Yeah.
I'm dreaming. And, you know.
He asked the question, you answered.
Yeah. And so I didn't understand it at that time. I'm like so blown away. I was so shocked and devastated
Yeah. Yeah.
that, you know, what happened? What just happened, you know?
Did he tell you? Or he just says, "No way, you're fired"?
No, he said that, you know, you're gonna be a competition. I'm like, how am I gonna be a competition? I don't even have the money. I don't even have a place to, you know, to do this.
Correct.
I'm just dreaming, man. Someday. That's what I said. Someday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Someday.
And he just let you go.
Yep. And that's me and Sonny said, well, we should open up our own shop.
The start of Gilson.
That is the start of Gilson.
Gilbert and
And
Sonny.
Sonny.
Okay.
Gilson Autobody.
Gilson Autobody. This is 1989.
We opened the shop in 1991.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it was late. I think it was in 1990 already. And then, you know, it took us maybe 6 months to get the permits and everything. And that's the thing too, right? So we said, okay, let's you know, two young guys, let's just open up a shop. Like, let's go.
You're 18.
You know?
How old was Sonny? Do you remember?
He was, I think, 27, something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, Gilbert, 18 years old, you're starting your own business.
Yeah. So So I didn't even think of, you know, whatever. Yeah, I said, yeah. So what do we need to do now? So that logo, Gilson Autobody,
Yeah.
I drew that night.
Oh, really?
So-
That's your
Yeah.
creation, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I drew it that night, and I said, what do you think, man? Oh, I like that. Let's go with that.
Nice.
So that logo, I drew that logo, and said, let's go. I'm like, man.
We're gonna have to show it in the video, man. Yeah, that thing.
It's crazy, right? So, like, where do we start? I don't know permitting, right?
Yeah.
I don't know all this.
All the
you know,
legalities
the
behind it.
taxation and, you know, all of that, right?
Yeah.
We just go.
You had the
Let's
idea.
figure it out,
Yeah.
right? So, well, number one, we have to look for a spot, a place, right? So we found this place. This is the very first Gilson on Corbett Street.
Corbett. I saw you when I met you. You were at Moses already.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one is on Corbett Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember the address, 910 Corbett. So
Nice.
in Carson
Nice.
City.
Nice.
It was a maybe at most 1,100 square feet, very small shop. We had to put the paint booth outside, and again, the permitting, good thing back then, back in the days, it's like easy permitting, right?
They weren't that strict now.
They're not that strict as
Yeah.
now. So we could put 4 to 5 cars at max. That's it, inside.
So when you started, you were already hitting 5 cars.
No, when we first started. I mean, I'm just saying that the maximum,
okay.
the square footage is so small. It's almost like having a 4-car garage. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So, and
Well, but that's a humble beginning because you guys. What was your last shop over here at 2nd Street? Was it Glendale?
that's
How big was that?
40,000 square feet.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Did you hear it? 1,100 to 40,000 square
Yeah,
feet.
one shop, right?
One
We
shop, and you
we
had 3.
We had 3. Yeah. So.
It's amazing.
So, okay, well, let's open up the shop, right? We got it to open. Now what? We need work, right? So we start posting flyers. So we were at Rayleigh's. Again, it's like this lady is from heaven, right? First job, very first job. We were handing out flyers, right? I think the Rayleigh's, it was Scolari's first in Carson City. They have those pegboards. Right?
Community board.
Yeah,
Right? Yes.
When you enter the
store.
supermarket.
Yes.
So
That's where you put your flyer.
we put the flyer there,
Oh, okay.
and this old lady. This is what she told us how she found us. She took the flyer because it was raining, and she used it to cover her head to get into her truck. She was driving a small Ranger truck, and she threw the flyer
To the seat.
to the seat inside the truck, and then she didn't even know what it is, right? She just took it and
She just need a
covered it.
covering, yeah.
So she picked it up and oh wow, I need this, guys. She has a 1957 190 SL that they bought brand new. This lady's from Pomona. She's very
Well off.
yeah.
Okay.
I think like oil money
Oh.
from Pomona back in the days, right?
Okay.
And her husband just died, and she wants to restore the Mercedes.
Memory of her husband, maybe.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
so she went to the shop, and she said, "Oh, I just want to see if you guys can restore this car for me. I want to give it to my grandson."
Wow.
But the grandson is like, the grandkid is only, I think, 10 or 11 at that time. I won't give it to him until, he's 18, right? So, but I want to restore it. That was our first job.
Dude, it really was meant to be.
190 SL Mercedes.
Can you see it? Mercedes is your lineup.
Exactly, right? Right?
Your
So,
first one that you painted,
Mercedes, right?
first
And
in your
then the first
business.
Mercedes.
Yeah, nice.
So we restored it. Man, it came out so beautiful. and she just kept it in the garage.
She really just didn't have money to spend.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole job for a small shop like us, I mean, we did restore it. I mean, new top, new interior. It's all leather interior, a paint job,
Yeah.
body work, all that, mechanical. She wants it all done. Back to original.
That was your first customer.
That's the first customer in Carson City when we first opened it.
How?
And then she became really a good friend. She's by herself, and she wasn't really close to her kids, to the daughter. She has one daughter, the grandson,
Mhm.
right? So she's like looking for somebody to talk to. So she's like
yeah,
coming to
yeah.
the shop, talking to us, And at that time, we had a lot of time to
Correct.
kind
Correct.
of talk.
You build rapport
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then we were doing some, car shows, and then we would ask her, hey, can we bring the car there? So,
Oh, really?
Right,
Okay.
so-
Okay.
and that's when a lot of people, and then, of course, I had the Volkswagen bug that everybody knew,
dude,
right?
that was your
my-
staple.
That was my my teenage car. I bought it when I was I think I was 16.
Yeah. The first time I heard about Gilbert was had my car crashed. I was at Thomas and Betts, and my coworker said, "You gotta bring it to this Filipino guy in Carson City. He knows what he's doing. He has his Volkswagen Beetle, and he restored it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful."
Yeah.
And that's where I went to see you.
Yeah. That's I couldn't let go of that car for years. That's my thing. I love the Volkswagens, but got busy, and then the car I just sold it. But yeah, that was the beginning of Gilson, and then of course the struggle, right?
Yeah.
That you talk about that.
Yeah, share that. So, your first year, so the customer was pretty amazing, right? But then, how did it go on your first year, and then
So first 3 years
first 2 years? Okay.
was, you don't know if you're gonna make it. You don't know if you're gonna go under. You're running out of money.
Yeah.
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 Man, I remember there's times that we had $20 in our pocket, right? $20.
You and Sonny.
We have no food. That was it. That was all we had is $20. We went to the Nugget. And bet on the
Red, go on red.
no, it was the blackjack.
Oh, okay,
table.
okay.
All or nothing.
$20.
$20. Oh, 21. It hit.
Oh.
All right, let it roll. One more time, and it hit again.
Oh, wow.
And then we said, okay, time to go.
Time to eat.
We can get grocery now. True story, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, we were just nothing. So I'm at the shop, taking care of the shop, and he was still delivering. He was delivering pizza, delivering newspaper, just to get by.
So your shop, the shop, it was just you working in the shop? Sonny
Yeah.
wasn't there? Sonny was still
So
keeping his job?
he would come in after, because when you deliver newspaper early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So he would take a couple hours nap and then go to the shop and help me. And then at night he would go deliver pizza.
Oh, dude. Golly.
And I was at the shop, trying to finish up the car that we had, whatever in there. Maybe we had like 1 or 2 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are. We just thought you guys are just sitting pretty.
Oh yeah,
making all the money.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what everybody think that. Oh yeah, those guys are,
Raking it.
make it.
Dude, that's that. So you mentioned earlier, first 5 years you basically considered no salary.
Oh yeah, there's no salary. First 3 years, you don't know if you're gonna make it, and then got over the hump. That 5 years, right? So we were able to. Third year, we were able to hire somebody for help, like a body man.
At the third year,
Yeah.
almost all 3 years, it's just you and Sunny.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I stayed at the shop doing some, I would do estimating, talking to customers, and Sonny's not really that's not his forte to talk to customers, right?
No.
So, and everybody knows that, he's more technical behind the scene,
Yeah.
But, I would try to sell, go to car shows, sell, and see if we could get some jobs.
So you were marketing yourself too. It was you. Oh my goodness.
Going to car shows, going to all kinds of meets,
Gilbert, what was the drive, bro? Because you said 3 years, you didn't know if you were gonna make it or not, but you kept going. What was the big why for you?
I can't fail, man. It's not in my vocabulary. I mean, even both of us, we were pretty strong. Strong personality. Both of us, we just
We're gonna keep going.
say what we need to say to each other. We were like butting heads or whatever. It's like a marriage, right?
Yeah.
It's rough times, good times, whatever it is. But the drive to succeed, whatever you're doing, right? Whatever your goal is in life. And this is what I always tell a lot of people, right? Dream big because it's free.
I like it.
It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
As big as you want.
But see, they can dream though, but when the hard work and the trials come, the weight of it,
Yeah.
a lot of people quit.
Exactly. I think what it is, it's the passion of what I'm doing, what I love to do, right? I'm into cars. I love painting. I love seeing the cars from
Junk to restaurant.
right, a basket case to,
Yeah.
to its glory,
Showcase.
right? Yeah, right?
Wow.
So I think, that was the drive. And I can't accept, failure. It's hard. It's hard.
Failure was not an option.
It's not an option.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's got to be something that I can do to make this work.
Dude, that's
Right?
that's
There's
great
always
right there.
something that you can do. Because people, we just tend to give up.
Yes, it's easier.
It's easy to give up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you know what? That's the easy way out.
Correct.
People
correct.
do the easy way out. The easiest thing in life because it's easy,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That's why there's less people that are successful.
Why is that,
Certain
right?
things,
'Cause
right?
if everybody's drive is the same, then everybody's going to be a gazillionaire like Elon, right? So,
Yeah.
So it's just, those first 3 to 5 years, that was 5 year time, that's when you start making money,
Mm. Yeah.
and that's when we build the shop.
What was the clincher when that put you over the hump on
So
that
the-
5th year?
So the one that's over the hump is, you build your credit,
Your
right?
reputation. Oh
Your
yeah, your credit.
reputation, your credit, and it's all gonna cost money, right?
Yeah.
To build a new shop. So, so we knew if we build a new shop, it's gonna cost us money for equipment,
Yeah.
and if we don't buy the equipment, we got nothing to show. It's just this big,
Big
building,
place. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So again, this guy's from heaven. It's like, walk
Yeah,
into
well,
the
you
shop.
have these people.
Right? Walk into the shop. He's originally from Minden. He's a builder. He has a construction company. And went to the shop. He said, "Hey, I heard that you're a good painter. Remember, I was 18. That looks like I'm 14 years old."
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Asian look. Right?
Correct.
So I said, "Yeah. Are you sure you can paint my car? You look like you're 14 years old, you know?" So I laugh, I said, "Okay, you let me paint your car. If you don't like it," this is when we were starting, right? Third year. Fourth year.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So we're already getting some work, right? I said, "If you don't like it, you don't have to pay me."
You said that.
Yeah.
That's big.
So I kind of backed him into a corner that, okay, well, I'm gonna have to try this guy, you know? What do I got to lose?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he brought the car in. We started to work on it, progress. He would visit the shop, visit his car. He goes, "Man, you guys are doing a good job." I said, "Told you, you don't have to pay me if you don't like it. So pay me." Right? So,
Here's the dollar amount.
so he would pay me as we go. Okay, we did the body work, we did the primer, whatever. Right? So he said, "Man, when do you think it's gonna be done?" I said, probably next month, you know." And we got it done, man. It was beautiful. So he was showing the car, and I said, "Hey, I painted this car. It's not a show car." But man, he said, "Man, I'm winning some shows, man."
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What car was it? Do you remember?
It was a '56 Chevy Bel Air.
Oh. Yeah.
So he said, "All right, I'm gonna tell my friends." He did. You know, we start getting more work from Reno, from
Because he probably brought it to Hot August Nights.
Yeah,
huh?
he knows a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's an old town. You know, it's a small town, right?
Correct.
Reno's still a small town. So
Pretty much.
right. I know that there's a lot of people coming from different, but the old school guys are still here.
The boys club.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I still talk to them.
Good.
But he started recommending, "Hey, take your car." So we got super busy, and then
In your 1,100 square feet.
yeah. So he came in one day. He said, "You need a bigger shop." I said, "How are we gonna do that? You gonna build me a shop?" Oh, kidding. Right?
Yeah.
So he said, "Oh, look at this thing, man. It's super small." I'm like, "I know, we're outgrowing it." He said, "Well, I can build you a shop." I'm like, "Okay, we're not going to be able to afford that." That's what I told him.
Yeah.
So he said, "No, I'll build you a shop, and then you can buy it from me." I said, "With my spec, right? My design, we're gonna design the shop, and then you're gonna."
Custom made, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, "I'll draw something up," because he's also a builder and an architect, right? So I'm like, whatever, right?
He's just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would do that? Number one, again, I looked like I was 14 years old. And then,
You're in a hick town.
yeah, I mean, this is a hillbilly town.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson City.
Five Filipinos.
Yeah, probably at that time. So he came back one day and goes, "Here, what do you think?" I'm like, we're like, "Oh," so he's like, we want, block building. I'm like, "Well, it's gonna cost you more." I mean, yeah. Because steel building is cheaper, right?
Yeah,
Easy
yeah,
to
correct.
build. These are,
I remember
Lot
one of
building,
Moses.
right? Yeah. So he said, I said, now what? I really didn't, we didn't think of it, really.
That he was gonna push through.
Yeah.
You just thought he was just talking.
Yeah. So he said, I'll call my my agent, my real estate agent, to look for at least an acre lot. Because an acre lot, he said, we could put a 20,000 square foot building. I'm like, that's a big building. We're sitting here on a 1,100 square foot building, right?
He's talking about 20,000.
20,000. How are we gonna fill that freaking building, right?
And this whole time, you and Sonny were just talking.
We were just talking. We were like,
he's not serious. It's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
So he made the phone call. I still remember her name. Dee Dee is her name, the agent.
Okay.
So, hey Dee Dee, see if you can find a lot for sale. We're like, we want to be behind the dealership or close to the dealership. I mean, we're demanding already. if that's
Since
the
we're
case,
just talking,
if that's the case, then we want to be in this location, right? Close to the dealership, so all the automotive is there, right?
Correct.
So we can pull some work.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll check it out. Oh, there's she found that spot,
Moses.
Moses Street.
Yeah. Shucks. What year was this?
So 92, 93, 94.
94. Okay.
94. Because 95, I think we moved.
Okay.
95 or 96, we moved there.
Because I think that's when I met you, between 95 and 96.
Yeah. So 95, 96, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
He purchased it.
well, it took like, I don't know, like 11 months
To build.
Yeah, and finish.
So when it was happening, you and Sonny were, what the heck? He was
Dude,
serious.
We're like, we broke ground. Wow. Is this happening? We're like shocked, right? Like, it's not happening, man. Number one, we didn't really buy the lot, so who knows? He could change his mind and rent it to somebody else, right?
Correct. That's
But no, he
very
said,
true.
oh yeah, however you want to, what kind of flow inside, how you want to do it, so we better think about it now. So I'm like, wow, okay, well then we need to call the paint company, see if they can help us. So Seconds at that time, that's the paint we were using. We called them and said, oh yeah, we have a department that does that, planning.
Help you design the shop.
How the flow works inside the shop. Your airline, your compressor, your the layout for your showroom, your waiting area, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was happening so fast, right?
Yeah.
So they got it done. They sent a blueprint. We're like looking at it. Oh, let's move this here and move this, And then, yeah, he said, okay, I'll plug that into the
plans.
The plans, and we'll go with that. And it happened, of course, as you know.
Yeah.
And then we moved. I think we moved in '96.
So
Right.
it was pretty well, it's always clean, man. Whenever I go there.
Right. So me and Sonny were like, oh, we gotta paint the floor. Holy cow, man! 20,000 square feet. We epoxied the floor by just two of us. We were pretty hot, man. Oh my God.
No mask.
Oh man. I mean, we did put the mask, we were in the paint shop. So, but man, I tell you what, that's a lot of square footage.
20 from 1,100 square feet to 20,000 square feet, and you caught a break again, Gilbert.
Yes.
You caught a break.
Again, insurance company is doing, they're launching this, the new preferred body shop for their customers.
Yeah.
I'm like, we want to sign up. This is what we have. And we're not even opening the shop yet. We don't even have the shop yet. We're just saying, look at our plan. So we had this printed
sketch
posters, and this little tiny office that we had.
at 1100 at the Corvette. Okay.
And then we're like, look, this is, all the insurance company. Hey, farmers, look at this. Hey, State Farm, look at what,
This is what we have. This is what we're gonna have.
What we have.
Wow.
We're building this. Really? Take me there. We would tour him there, and oh yeah, it's happening. It's there. Yeah, I said it's happening. All right. Once it's done, we'll sign you up. They did. So once we opened the shop, we got signed up by farmers.
Wow.
That was a big deal, man.
That was your third big break. It seems like.
It was. So back in the days, that farmers alone was giving us at least the first year it gave us $2 million worth of work.
Gosh, the first year.
The first year.
Things changed then, huh?
Yeah.
No more blackjack.
No
Let's
more.
get the grocery.
So that was our 6th year now, 7th year.
Wow.
But so again, our a lot of sacrifice. I had the first kid in 1996, so I was pretty busy at work. Just focusing on growing the shop, right?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work.
Gilbert, the arrangement with this guy, right? That he built it, he financed the whole thing.
Right.
Because he knew you were
Something, he knew something. He said, you know what? There's something about you guys that you guys gonna make it. And I'm like, who would believe us, right? Two Asian guys,
Yeah, in the car.
young, right? I mean, I even asked him.
Yeah.
I said, what are you seeing, man? He said, I don't know. It's just,
There's something about you.
there's something about you guys.
He bet on you.
Yeah.
And then when did you purchase the building from him? How many years after?
3 years later.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
3 years later.
That's a big bet
Oh, yeah.
for you. That's a big break for you too.
Exactly. I mean, it just worked out, right? Everything just worked out.
Yeah.
So we had good credit. We used that credit to buy the equipment. So we're in debt.
Okay.
I mean, we're in debt.
Yeah.
Opening up the shop, we were in debt, right?
Because he got the building, but the equipment was going to be on you.
Yeah. Anything inside, all the furnitures, the computers, all that. I think at that time, equipment and everything is like 1.5 million. Yeah, that's big money, right? At that time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Up to now. But so from one worker, I remember on your third year hired a body worker. So when you opened the 20,000 square feet, from one employee to how many now?
Now we had 10.
You scaled it to 10.
10,
Oh,
10
wow.
employees. So,
But you were invested 1.5.
correct. So everything, we're investing in, into the shop. So it's a lot of risk, but yeah, it's worth it. I mean, it's looking back, would I do it again? Probably not, man.
No?
No. The game is different, right? It's a different game. Now it's just totally different, right? And I saw that coming. 20 years in business. Say, the big boys are coming,
Ah, okay.
right? They got the backing. They got the money. They'll buy you out. They'll push you out.
These are the national companies,
Right.
right? National. Oh,
It's like the Walmart of body shop. Right.
oh, they came into town.
Right. So
When did you sell?
I've been 2015.
Okay.
We sold in 2015. But I was seeing, we were seeing it, 10 years prior to that, right?
That it was gonna be like that.
Yeah, because you all this. The problem is the insurance company has the money. They're the one who pays the bills, right?
Correct. So
But they also dictate
pricing.
what they're going to pay.
Ooh.
So, but that was the fault of all the body shops because we gave it to them. So you got to see all that, right? The good and the bad, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in business, you have to have an exit.
Good.
You
Good.
can't just keep going thinking that.
It's all bravado at that point,
Yeah.
right? Or pride,
Yeah.
or ego. No?
Yeah.
So you saw it coming. You and Sonny were like, okay, this could possibly change for us.
Yep.
So,
So we need to build a shop where we can, instead of, because it's hard, you build it from zero,
ground up.
and you it's hard to sell, right?
I bet, because you said so from 1,100 square feet to the Moses one, the 20,000 square feet, and the one at Glendale,
Then we
40,000.
expanded on
You have one
Glendale.
more in Carson, right?
No, one more in Reno
Oh.
behind Winkle Motors.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we took that over when Winkle
Folded,
sold
okay.
the dealership.
Oh, okay,
to
okay.
Coleman. Yeah.
So because business was just demanding it. That's why you just kept expanding.
Yeah, it was. We're getting to be too big.
What year was that when you just your
2007.
wheel just kept spinning?
2007, and the market went down in 2008.
Yeah.
It didn't affect us at all.
I remember a meeting with you and you
Yeah.
said people will still drive their cars
Yeah,
even though
it's
there's
like,
a recession.
It's like the medical, profession, right? You're always gonna need to fix your car.
Yeah. People
You're
will
gonna
crash.
it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So we really didn't get affected by that. The only thing is don't make a move. We already made the move 2007 before the crash, so everything was already done. We got the shop, we got everything going, right? Because that was a big move.
You had the Glendale in
Yeah.
2007.
Correct. We opened in 2007.
Okay. So 10 employees, and then when you got Glendale, how many employees did you have at that time?
35.
Wow.
So I
Dude.
think between the three shops, we were close to 100 employees. Yeah.
I remember you were affected by the policy change that Obama did with the forced
That was
insurance.
2000 is that 2011?
So 8, right? So he became the president in 2008, I think.
Yeah, 2008, and then
He changed the
He
Obamacare.
launched the Obamacare. So
11,
that Obamacare really affected a lot of businesses until now. So as a small business, right? You can't afford to just give and pay,
Big benefits.
benefits like that,
Yeah.
and then they end up leaving.
Oh.
So you're paying right up front, and then they end up leaving, like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later. Body shop is not an easy business.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people are flaky. A lot of and that's the reason why we started. Kind of training our own technicians. In house. We're trying to get the young.
Generation.
To, but when it got to like 2011 when Obama took over, when he became president, a lot of things changed because and also social media.
Oh,
So nobody
How-
wants to get their hands dirty.
how did that affect you?
Well, because before, kids are like into cars. They want to do mechanical work. They want to work on their cars. That went away. Everybody just wants to be playing video games. They don't on computers, right? They don't have to get dirty.
So you lost some workforce, you're saying?
Yeah, it was really tough.
Wow.
In the 90s, they were lined up.
Yeah.
You get to pick and choose who you want to hire.
We didn't want to be indoors, man. We were always like,
Right.
well, what can we do out there? Yeah.
Right.
And then work on our
And
cars.
who's gonna wash the cars, right? Who's gonna detail it? It's hard work, right?
Wow. Okay. That changed it for
That
you.
changed a lot.
Shucks.
There's no more skills.
Wow. Wow. So,
You know?
but you saw it coming, and
Yeah.
you were, dude. There's a lot of things to be said about that. Even how you could project certain factors that will affect you in your business. Because you said you started seeing it, that it's going to change for you in 2007, 2008.
Right.
And then you sold everything in 2015.
2015 is when we sold.
Close to 100 employees.
100 employees. We were, we were doing almost, $1 million a month on our 3 shops. It's a lot of work, though.
Oh yeah.
It seems like it's big, but it's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah, it took a lot from me,
It did.
and Sonny, the level of, stress, all that. 'Cause you're everything. You're HR, you're
Correct.
manager,
Yeah.
you're everything. It's your shop, right? It's
Yeah.
your business,
Yeah.
right? But no regrets. I mean, it was a great run.
Yeah.
Right? It was
Yeah.
a great run.
Yeah.
I mean.
You're a success story.
But playing the honest game and making sure that you're not, you're doing it right, and helping, your employees and other people to be successful. I mean, it's a good thing for me. It makes me, feel good about that.
You built strong relationships throughout the years.
Yeah,
I bet.
I don't think anybody could say that, it's always like, go to Gilson, they do a good job, right? So.
Oh yeah, Gilson. Now, ever since you left, like it's been a struggle. Like who to
Yeah,
bring
who do
it
you
to?
go to, right?
Yeah. Who's tried and tested,
Right.
Plus Filipino, like I always love stepping. I mean, I used to, every time I would see him in the 90s, he made this comment to me. He goes, "Bro, you and your brother, you guys always crash. Do you guys know how to drive?" But yeah, I seem to always get into an accident in the 90s, man.
Yeah, it's well, I think we're all in the same age, man. The Fast and the Furious, man, that's when it came out. Remember that?
Before Fast and the Furious, we were Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, exactly. So it was great times.
You had your M3, your yellow M3.
Yeah, I bought
in
that.
the 90s.
I bought that in '97.
That's when I met you. So 97.
97, and then it was a '98 model, right?
Yeah, the yellow.
I still have it.
You still have it?
I still have that car.
I know you
It's
also.
red now.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you restored another car, a 330.
No,
No, the classic one that you took on the track.
so that's the E30 M3, 1988.
That one, the black one.
No, this one is red. Also.
Oh, is it red?
Yeah,
Do you still have it?
I still have it.
Do you still race?
No, not recently. So, yeah, it's I still have a lot of cars.
You do?
Yeah. It's just it's a disease.
But,
You know.
but your story, Gilbert, it's an inspiration. You were saying something. Can you share that too? You were speaking to a friend of yours, and you were telling him like how much money do you have? Like you're investing in yourself. Can you share that? Like because as a like, what can you share to the next guy, to the next generation?
I mean, what I can say also, don't be afraid. When I get this all the time, right? I get asked all the time, when is a good time to start a business? It's never a good time to start a business, right? Every time you just have to go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, the economy is this. Oh, the economy is that. I'm not going to do that. It's too much risk. Everything is a risk.
Yeah. Going back to your story, I mean, you didn't.
Right.
Those were not factors for you, right?
So if I have to think of that.
Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. I would have probably say, oh, that's too hard.
Plus the permits is hard to get. It's going to delay us 6 months.
Yeah. When is a good time to start a business?
Yeah.
When is a good time to start anything in life?
And your answer is like, it's when you have it?
Just do it.
The Nike one. Okay.
Right?
Just do it.
Because next thing you know, if you're thinking about something, right? Let's say you're 20 years old. Oh, I'm not going to do it now because you know what? The economy is this. Oh, we have a new president. Oh, this and that.
The tariff here.
Yeah. All this things going on. There's always going to be things going on in life.
Dude, you sound like Jim Rohn right now.
When is it? When are you going to get up and do it?
Yeah.
Right?
Or how bad do you want that?
How bad do you want it? What is your passion? Passion drives everything.
Oh, sure.
If you're passionate about something, about one thing, you will make it work. I can guarantee you that. Because you're not going to give up. Because you do what you love to do because you're passionate about it. So either you're in business, either you're at work, right? A lot of people say, "Oh man, it's too hard here. I don't want to be here." Then be somewhere else.
Yeah. Why
punish
stay?
yourself?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I see that all. Now I'm a Tesla, right? I work
Are
at
you?
Tesla. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
So I
You were a Tesla.
retired.
Okay.
I was bored. I got really, really bored, and it was bad.
Okay.
So when I sold the shop, I think I was 42, 43. Dude, I wasn't ready. I thought I was gonna be ready, but I was ready to sell. But am I ready to stop working? No. Drove me nuts.
Oh,
I think even my dog
was getting tired of you.
Nuts. Yeah. I was talking to the dog and I'm like, "Oh, this is wrong. This is not good. This is not good." Yeah. So I'm like, I got to do something.
So when you retired at 42, how many kids do you have again? Two. How old were they?
So they were 18.
They didn't want you around anymore around that age.
No, they were probably driving. I was driving them.
You were driving them nuts too.
I think I broke I don't know how many vacuums in the house. I was vacuuming the house like 3, 4, 5 times a day.
A day?
Yeah.
So you went to Tesla. We started working for Tesla when?
So I said, my wife also didn't work for 25 years, right?
That's right.
Taking care of the kids, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm ready. The kids are out. I'm ready to do something. she got super bored.
Uh,
So she applied at Tesla as an associate. So she got the job, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's an associate job.
yes, yes.
But see, that's the thing, right? People think that, oh, those guys are not gonna. They live the life, right? They're not gonna be an associate. They're not gonna be, working for somebody. What's the difference? Just do it.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Here's the thing, right? A lot of people are afraid of work. It's just work.
that's what you see, huh? That's
It's
what.
just work. Just do it.
Is there a difference between a Filipino mindset that's regarding what you're saying versus somebody who grew up here? Are they more entitled, the ones that grew up here versus the ones that immigrated here?
They have more drive, I would say.
The immigrants?
Yeah, because you know what? They probably, coming from a third world country, that if you work is so hard to find, right?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
That they don't take that for granted because they find work. It's like a Tesla, right? Why would you work at McDonald's and you can work at Tesla. Making $22.50, right?
Correct. And then their stocks are like,
Not only that, there is no hard work at Tesla. It's a great company, I
Yeah.
can tell you that.
yeah,
Elon takes care of the.
the people.
I mean, I came from the business side, right?
And the owner's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no company in the world, I'm talking in the world, that will give you what is given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like benefits. You're saying.
Benefits. Everything.
And then I have a lot of friends that are there. Like,
Yeah, but a lot of them complain, right? Because, it's 12 hours. Come on. You're working 15 days a week. I mean, a month.
oh, that's right, because it's three
and four.
on and 4. Yeah. 15 days in a
A
month.
month. You're always on vacation.
You're right.
You get full benefits, 100% benefits, day one.
Day
Like I
one.
said, I was in business, and I can't provide that.
Dude, you're right. Plus, you would have 4 days off in 1 week, right? Or
And
every other
they
week.
give you stocks.
Yeah. What do you do there, Gilbert?
So, I'm a process engineering supervisor.
Nice.
So, it's a totally different,
Field for you.
yeah. But you know what? I've always been in leadership, right?
Yeah.
Manage people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, 100 people, and you were overseeing 100 people plus operate the business.
yes, I mean, everything. This one,
Correct.
you have all the resources, right?
Yeah.
You have your own HR, you have your, everything. And I can tell you one thing, that either I'm not just because I'm working at Tesla, Tesla, Elon, it's almost he doesn't really give a damn about money. He just shares it with everybody,
That's good. That's good to hear.
right?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people think that, he's the only one that's getting rich. No. There's a lot of people that got rich at Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, I've spoken to a couple of guys that work there.
How many people do you know they were able to buy a house?
From their stocks, their down payment.
Where are they going to get that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to get that from Microsoft? Are they going to get that from Google? Apple? No.
So it's really generous, huh? You're saying
Yeah.
his benefits are really generous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you fully invested day one vested on your
No,
stocks?
it takes 4 years.
4 years?
4 years.
I still doubt that.
Yeah. It's
4
going to be next month's my 4th year.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Wow. You're not afraid of hard work anyway. Plus, that's not hard work for you.
That's not. nowhere near.
You were just bored. You were just
Yeah.
looking for something to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's great. Not only that, the health benefits. We're not getting younger.
Hmm.
So, like my surgery
Your current one, yeah, it does.
hardly cost me anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Compared to when you were running your own business, yeah, that's
So after I sold the business, I worked for the company that bought me. I was paying close to $1,500 for my family for the health insurance
a
a
month.
month.
Sounds like
That's a lot, right? So a Tesla,
15.
you could elect 0 payments. Doesn't cost you a dime. You could get the premium. I think it's for like $60 per paycheck for premium.
Shucks.
Yeah, $80, something like that. I'm not sure, but
Wow.
it's affordable. And that's what we got because my wife is diabetic.
Oh, I didn't know.
Her medication is, I think it's like $8,000 a month,
Oh
and we
gosh.
pay $25.
Oh wow.
So
It's a win-win then, huh?
yeah. A lot of people will bash the company, but like I said, coming from
Your
the
own
business side
company.
of it,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna provide that for no.
That's a huge, that's a big transition for you though.
It is
Running your own business.
Yeah. But you learn a lot, which is that I like learning.
Yeah.
I'm open to, and I'm like I said, it's just work,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I'm not superior to anybody because I had my shop, I never even talk about that at work.
No. Well, they will be now.
It's-
There was Gilbert. I didn't know you did this.
Yeah. So it's the challenge in life, right? You're always gonna have challenge in life,
Yeah.
but you take that head on, and there's always a brighter side.
Gilbert, the one thing that's really amazing for me too is like you were a minority in Carson City of all places.
Out of all places, right?
Of all places. In a pretty dominating, well, the business was pretty much dominated by the whites, right? But then you excelled. I guess my question is, what was your mindset for not even thinking about being a minority?
So I know the question, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Why do you ask that question? Because it came from somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a minority. They're not gonna listen to me. Oh, I'm not gonna excel in this,
We don't get the breaks. We don't know the people.
right? I don't think about that. That is just the color of my skin. My ability, I have to prove. So I have to prove my ability.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, maybe I have to prove it 3-4 times because I'm a minority. Yeah, it's always gonna be there, right?
Did you actually experience that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But you know what? That's the challenge I want.
You told this
That's
guy,
my drive.
don't pay me if you don't like it.
Exactly. Are you paying for the color of my skin, or are you paying for my ability to fix your car?
Right. Right.
Right?
That's good.
You're paying me for my skill. Right?
And I have it.
And I have the skill to provide. If you're in business, right? It's all about customer service. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't service your customer, they're not going to talk about you. First impression is everything, right? So, if you're a minority, you're always on a defense side, right?
Mm.
But so I guess I should say you always want to think about your first impression
Correct.
because you don't have that chance again. You might not have it.
Correct. You might not get the second call.
Second chance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that. So think about that when you say, how do you sell the job that you're selling? It's either real estate or
You're selling a car.
automotive, selling
Yeah.
a car,
Yeah.
whatever business you're in, right? You're still in customer service because you always try to sell it to somebody to get that income,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it too much, then that's your wall. You gotta break that wall.
It
It's-
cripples people, right?
Yeah, because you know what? It ain't about that. You'll get past that.
Right.
You'll get past because you're a minority. If you keep saying that, then that's always gonna be in the back of your mind, and that's gonna limit your ability to
Right.
excel
Right. Right.
because you haven't done anything. You haven't shot that ball. How do you know if it's gonna go in or not?
Correct. So for you, you basically embraced it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know what they see. Like what you said earlier, I look like I was 14,
Right.
right? And I'm 18 years old and I'm
Yep.
trying to get his account.
Yeah. I'm trying to get $15,000 from this guy.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get it?
So you know everything that you have and you embraced it and you stepped up to the challenge and you're going to get that account no matter what.
Yep. I'm. You know what? That's my drive. Is to sell what I'm selling.
Nice.
It's an honest sell. It's a good product that I'm giving my customer.
Right.
How are you gonna sell that? It's a skill, right? I
It
mean,
is.
you know,
It is. It is.
But you can teach yourself how to do that.
But you do recognize that there is that wall for us, as you put it,
Right.
for any minority. But you have to go past it in order for you to make it, because it's your mental block.
Yes.
Somehow, right?
Yeah.
It's your own. It's
Why-
in your
why-
own mind.
So, I guess I should. Don't think about your appearance too much. It will look good if you know what you're selling, right?
If you know your service is going to be good, so why worry about it?
Why worry about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're worried before you haven't done anything yet.
And you have bigger problems to tackle, right? In your first 3 years, it had nothing to do about you being a minority. It was really just the nature of business, right?
Right.
There were struggles in getting accounts and
Yeah.
then financing here and there.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, growth.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, I was 25. I thought I was having a heart attack because they had to rush me to the hospital because
Oh shoot.
because I was the pressure because we just opened up the shop.
The Moses one.
Yeah. It's a
Oh,
lot.
you felt the pressure. Oh,
Oh,
my
it's
God.
a lot.
But on your first year, you made 1 point something.
Yeah. Yeah,
But your exposure was also 1.5 with
Right.
with the equipment and all that.
I need 3 times as much to make it, right?
That's right.
Just to make it.
Just to make it. Just to go on
To
black.
pay your bills.
Oh,
Now you're paying more people. What's the biggest expense on every business? It's labor,
labor. Yeah.
right? Not only that you're paying your employees, you're paying Social Security, taxes, right? All that,
Yeah.
insurance. You know.
And so it's the most expensive one, and then you were running out of talent because people were not
Yeah.
interested in doing
So I
it.
have to create talent.
Yeah.
So
That's another hump.
And you know, my painters, both of my painters, they're brothers, right? They were young when they started. I think he was also 17 years old. He graduated high school, didn't want to go to school anymore. I said, you know, we knew his dad, and he said, hey, can you hire my kid? I said, yeah. So I trained him how to paint. And now they have their own shop in Carson.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Oh.
Yeah.
They didn't stay with you in your growth?
They did.
Oh, they did.
For what? I think like 12, 15 years.
Oh, so when you sold, they started their own. They left. Oh, they didn't stay with the new company.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks,
So
Gilbert.
yeah, you know, I mean, that's you know, as a minority, you know, we going back to that. Don't limit yourself to that.
That's good. That's one of your advice.
It is what it is. We can't change that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can change your skill. You can change your how you gonna, you know, better yourself.
Correct.
Right? What is your drive? Ask
Yeah.
yourself that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how bad you want it.
Correct. There's for me, it's like always there's an extra effort for me to prove myself. Like what you said earlier, I need to work 3 times harder. And I feel like that, you know, like I need to always be in my A game the first second, or
Yeah.
else I lose it.
Yes.
You know.
You always think of that. The first impression, I can't make a mistake on that because you know what? I might not get a second chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sure.
present yourself always the best you can. You know, again,
And then follow through.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know that, you know, not everybody has the same skills, but you have you drive that bus, right?
Yeah.
You're the driver.
See, you get to dictate it. How fast.
You dictate your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Dude, I like it, man.
Yeah. You know, there's nobody else that can tell you how well you're gonna be, but yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we go back to your grandparents? So after you made it, did you ever have like a conversation with them when you made it? Did you?
With who?
With your grandparents?
Oh, I went. You know, they passed a few years.
Before your business blew up?
Yeah. But you know, the and you know what I told my family is like, you know what, when you're young, there's a lot of hatred, right?
Mm.
Because you're rebellious, you know, everybody's wrong but you.
Except you, correct.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
But you know, as you grow old, then you realize, you know what, I've learned a lot from that.
Mm.
That gave me the drive to, you know, to succeed.
Correct.
Right.
That was the fuel for
Yeah.
Gilbert to kind of straighten out.
Yeah, because you know if education is great, right? I wish I had more education, right? But would my life be like this, or is it better? We don't know.
And you said it earlier. It was a great ride for you,
Yeah,
right?
You know.
You fought for it.
but I think I've learned more because everything is on the fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is,
And you were desperate, right? You were
Yeah.
desperate. You needed to succeed.
yeah.
I like that.
You know, I'm like, there's no other way.
This has to work or nothing.
There's no other way. If the car that I want to buy is that, let it be. Then that's I'm gonna have that car, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If the house that you're looking at that's the house, then aim for that. Whatever it is.
But don't be afraid of hard work, because like what you said, like people are just afraid of work. Right?
Yeah. Again, it's just work.
Elaborate on that. It's just work.
So let's say you know the work, what has to be done, but you're lazy to do it.
I got it.
It's just work. Do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You might go somewhere, I mean, if you do it. It's like washing your car, right? You see that the car is dirty, and you haven't washed it in years, right?
Yeah.
But it's work to do that, to wash it. It's just work to wash it. Then wash it
Yeah.
to be more presentable.
Take the time to do it.
Right.
Right. There's no for anybody who wants to be successful. What I hear you saying is, you have your passion, you follow that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of hard work, or work.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of work,
Yeah.
and continue to just present your A game from the get go.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's how you present yourself, right?
So yeah, so let's say you were talking to the young Gilbert. What are you gonna tell him? Like, what's your advice to the young Gilbert?
Well, my advice is it's always to have that confidence, right? Figure out what you're going to do. If you do sign up for that type of work, then do the best you can. If you apply for this type of work, let's say you applied at Tesla, right? And you applied as a technician, right? So it's either a maintenance technician, and you know what you're getting into. Understand what you're applying for. And then do 100% every day. You come into work, be prepared to be 100%.
Be ready for work.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't go to work just because you want that paycheck. That drive is gonna go away, because you're gonna find another job, and you're gonna do exactly the same, and it's gonna be over and over. Next thing you know, you're 40 years old, you're 50 years old.
Yeah. How about the guy who's gonna start a business? What's your advice for him?
So to start a business, know the number one. Make sure that the business that you're getting into is the one that you want, that you're passionate about. Like I said, if you're not passionate about that business, then it's going to be hard to work with.
Correct.
It's hard to make it happen.
Yeah.
You're going to dump all your savings, your money, all the risk to make it work. And then you're going to say, I really don't like that.
Ooh.
It's not for me.
And if that's your attitude, you might as well not start it.
Don't start it.
God.
Find your passion. If you're passionate about, real estate, talking to people, understand that business, right? Or having a
Restaurant, maybe.
a restaurant,
Remember, I had one before.
right?
Yeah.
Right. The restaurant's very hard, right?
It's worst
It's-
thing. You
yeah.
want to kill somebody, buy him a restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Business will kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand that you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
But when is a good time to start a business? It's not a good time to start a business. You just start the
It's
business.
just started. You made a lot of sacrifice.
It's yeah, good and bad, right?
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
and
you
bad.
would have done it too.
I lost a lot of because I was a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah, 18, man.
You know, I mean, 18, you're going to
Trying to think what I was doing at 18. Not
college.
run a business.
Yeah.
Not run a business.
College. Yeah. But you know, I love people, right? I can talk to
Gosh.
anybody.
You invested in yourself
Yeah.
at
You know,
18.
You need to. How do you go to school, go to college, graduate, and then figure out your career, right?
Mm.
So it's either going to business or having a career at a corporate career or something like that.
You said earlier something interesting. You said if you were to do it again, you probably wouldn't. Were you just saying that, or
No, because the game has changed, right?
because if it were now?
You know,
Okay.
for now. you know.
Okay.
So those are, if I have, let's say, if I have $10 million to start a business, would I start another body shop? Heck no.
Wow. Because it's completely changed.
Yeah.
You're playing with the big boys, and
Yeah.
10 million is not a
10
big
million
boy
is
money.
nothing.
10 million in the
I mean, you could start a body shop. There's no doubt, right? You could start a body shop for a couple $100,000. You probably can start it, right? But what is your drive?
So if it's just not the money, because some people they get into business because of just the money, right? That's not enough, is what you're saying.
Right.
Because
So-
when the money's not coming in, they quit.
Right.
Right.
So the biggest thing is, you always think that you're gonna start a business, money's gonna start flowing, right?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't?
That's right. That's right. And it won't. Not right away. There are
We
seasons.
all know that you have that 3 years period of time that you're not gonna make any money.
Correct.
So how are you gonna supplement your bills and your cost of living?
Correct. That's why we decided to just fold the restaurant, because in the first year we were actually on the even.
Yeah.
We were red for a few months, then we got even on the
Yeah.
first year. But we're just like, dude, is this something that we really want to do?
And your how much time you're putting in.
Correct. 7 days a week, and
Yeah.
my son was a baby at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to balance your life, right?
Yeah.
It's easy for me to say because
Did you have balance?
no,
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think we can, right? Because you will be
No.
focused on the business a lot, and
Yeah.
then family later.
Yeah, right. I mean, like I said, you try to provide for your family, and hopefully they appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully your kids will appreciate it.
Your children, do they know about the body shop? Do they?
No,
No.
I didn't want them to get into that lucrative business.
Really?
It's
What are they doing now?
It's a lot.
What's their passion? Do you know?
Marketing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, they still have it. They got it
Oh,
from
yeah,
you.
I think it runs in the blood. So, this is what I can say, right? For young people,
Yes.
it's either you're making $50,000 a year or $500,000 a year. If that's your passion, do it.
Money's not the factor. It should not be the driving force.
Correct.
That's amazing, man. For somebody who made money.
You will get sucked into the money, right? And at the end of the day, you really can't take it with you.
Yeah.
Don't lose your life over money.
Yeah. There's a Bible verse there that says, "For what is it for man who to gain the whole world yet forfeits his soul?"
Right. There's always you're always something. You're gonna gain something and lose something, right?
Yeah.
So
That's good. Well, Gilbert, man, thank you very much,
Yeah.
man. Thank you very much for
thank you for having me,
doing
man.
this, man.
Yeah. Nice to catch up with you.
Oh yeah, likewise, dude. Like I always admired your. I mean, you and Sonny.
Yeah.
You guys made me proud to be a Filipino because.
Yeah, man. I mean, Sonny's, I couldn't have done it without him. I mean, it's vice versa.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just all of that is like meant to be, right?
Correct. The breaks that you caught, man, that's amazing.
It's like, God's gift, right?
It is. Man, from that lady, dude, you cannot make this up, man. It's like a movie. You put the flyer
I got fired,
there. Yeah, you got fired, dude. It's a movie, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah,
It's such a success story, and I bet it will help a lot of people that's probably dreaming about starting their own business. I'm pretty sure I picked up a lot of lessons here.
I'm glad, man. It's great to help, provide information and, my experience for some people that wants to.
Dude, that's 30 years worth.
Lifetime for me, man, right? It's lifetime. That's my life.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
You know.
Man, thank you very much, and congratulations, man,
Thanks, man.
for that journey that you took. You never gave up on yourself and your dream, and it's something to be truly admire. And well, we're gonna wrap it up, man.
All
Thank you
right.
very much, Gilbert. That is our episode 9. That's Gilbert Dayao, Gilsons Autobody. Amazing story. To our audience, thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, see ya and God bless you. Bye bye.